and welcome to my first video. We are going to be making a potato cheese soup, one of my favorites. It made my kitchen Bible for my quick hits. Super easy, super delicious, and I love to freeze the leftovers for my lunch box later. So I'm going to give you the ingredients as listed and the instructions to make it as listed. However, I omit things because there are certain things that I don't like or whatever, which is why I cook my own food anyways to begin with. So first we use canola oil, which I omit because there's a certain step that it calls for, I don't use it. Uncooked onions, I don't use that, I use green onion instead in place of, because I can't do too much onion. Uncooked carrots, coarsely grated. Table salt, so you're going to need about 3/4 of a teaspoon of table salt, about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 a teaspoon dry mustard. Uncooked potatoes, cut into 1/2 inch cubes. I'm going to do it a little differently because I have a nice little cheater mechanism. We'll see how well it works out. I may be doing it the peasant way like everybody else. Fat-free reduced sodium vegetable broth. I use fat-free chicken broth instead. It's my preference. Fat-free half and half. I don't know if I have that on hand. Uh-oh. I might be improvising. Low-fat cheddar Colby cheese. I know I got that. And fresh thyme or oregano for garnish. I do not have time. I didn't get that. I don't have time. Okay. Anyways, that's that. Now you heat the oil in a large nonstick saucepan over medium heat. Add your onion and cook stirring frequently until brown about 5 minutes. Just see when they start getting translucent if that's what you really want to do. I'm not going to do that today. Stir in your carrots, salt, pepper, paprika, mustard, and cook, stirring once or twice until carrots begin to soften about 2 minutes. Yeah, the whole point of doing soup is to stir it all in a big pot, so I'm not doing that whole thing. So at that point, I'm going to add potatoes, broth, my carrots, and everything else that I wanted, omitting the onion. I'm going to increase heat to high, bring it to a boil, reduce the heat to medium-low, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are tender. I'm going to add my cheese, stir until melted, and then I'm going to puree the soup in a pot. Make sure if you're going to do this, the way I do it, I'm going to use an immersion blender and put it in the pot. The metal will wreck your nonstick pot, so if you have a nonstick pot, do not do it this way. You're going to want to take it out, put it in a blender, or put it in a plastic bowl and puree it that way. But
do not stick metal in your nonstick pans.
Or put them in the dishwasher. You're gonna wreck them. I'm going to use a kitchen scale because I like the accuracy of them. You don't have to do it if you got you work with what you got, guys. I'll tell you about what a pound looks like, but I'm going to make a double batch. So I'm probably going to need 2 pounds. So 2 pounds is about 6 potatoes. And that's how many I'm going to use for a double batch. If you are going to make the single batch, you're probably going to only need about 3 potatoes, medium-sized potatoes. Now I'm going to wash them and scrub them, just because they're dirty. Alright, now I've got this cool device here, thanks to Pampered Chef. I bought it at a garage sale years ago. That it's meant for peeling apples, but I think I could do potatoes with it because I'm lazy. I'm going to give this a shot. Now, if yours is brand new from them, like mine is not, you'd probably have a little handle here to grind this with. If not, you can use a carrot peeler like everybody else. Let's see how this works. So this will peel and spiralize at the same time. I think I found a new cheat. I like this. I like this. Thanks, Pampered Chef. So I did waste a little bit of it, but this is all the skin that I was going to be peeling off anyways. And here is all the potato without skin. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the rest of it this way. There's one. And then with this part off the core. Come on. There we go. I'll just chop off the ends and dice this up. No wasting. You know what I just realized? This is how you make curly fries. All right, guys, I felt like that was a lot of waste, extra waste over here. So I peeled one more potato just for grins. I'm gonna, like I said, chop off the ends and dice it up. Let's chop these bad boys off. Waste. Careful not to cut yourself. This is going to be perfect for that. These are the size pieces you're going to want if you're dicing them up by hand. And since I have this thing, I'm going to dice these up a little bit too. They're going to come apart in the immersion blender anyways, but they're just kind of there. These are going to cook a lot better this way. So this is one thing when you're doing this. I'm going to bring this over here. So when you're doing this, knife skills, sorry, I'm doing this in my house. It's not a stage. When you're doing this in your knife skills, you should be holding the whatever you're cutting. You should be holding whatever you're cutting like this with your fingertips. So when your knife comes in, it's going against your fingernails, not your fingers, your skin. You don't want to put your fingers out like this. It's a good way to lose a digit. So put it here and you back it up. Fingers are staying straight up in the air like that. Fingers out of the way. Now that we've settled that, I don't want to see anyone losing any fingers. I mean, yet again, I'm not a classically trained chef. That's just what I do and what I know. Now, in this step, if you like your potato soup to have a little more chunks to it, or a little heartier soup, you can save some of these diced pieces out and throw them in later. Because if you throw them all in together at the same time, that immersion blender is going to go in and just tear it all up, and you will not have any of those potato chunks. I don't mind the creamy soup the way it is, so I just throw it all together. So when I cook, which is also why I cook double batches every time I cook, because I don't have time to cook all the time. So if I'm going to spend the time to do all this chopping and all this stuff to make a healthy meal for me and my family, there better be enough to go around that I don't have to do it again for a minute. Which is why I like doing these soups, because I stick them in the freezer and then they're good forever. Well, not forever, but they're good for a long time. And they also act as my ice pack for my lunchbox. So my soup might be the side dish, and I take my sandwich or whatever. You really kind of got to get creative when you're trying to eat healthy. So just because I guesstimated roughly a pound, or not a pound, I guesstimated roughly an extra potato was worth needing for the waste that we created, I'm going to go reweigh it and see if I still have my 2 pounds after adding the extra potato. Very close. I'm at 1.95 pounds. So I'll take that as a win. So we're going to clean as we go, get rid of all this waste. Cleaning as you go just makes life a lot easier. The recipe calls for 2 carrots, but since I'm making a double batch, I need roughly 4. But I'm also an idiot. When I went to the store, I thought we had more carrots than we did, so I'm throwing them all in there as much as I got. You know, cooking's kind of about improvising sometimes. And I'm lazy, and while I could use my awesome knife skills to do this, I'm not. Because, like I said, I believe in kitchen gadgets. And anything to make my life a lot easier, I'm gonna do it. So this is one of them slap choppers. This is also one of them Pampered Chef tools that I use a lot. Waste not, want not. So here we got my big pot. As you can see, it is not non-stick. Well, it is, but it's a ceramic non-stick. I probably wrecked this too, but I don't really care about this one. I don't use it a lot. So it's my jug pot. Throw that on. And it requires 3.67 cups of vegetable broth, which I'm using chicken broth. And this is 32 ounces, which is close to 3.67 cups. So I'm just going to use 2 of these because I'm making a double batch. Also, it helps to shake it so everything hasn't settled at the bottom. I forgot to shake it before I did it, but I just realized that I need to, so I'm shaking it now. So approximately this would be the time you would start sauteing your onion and all that good stuff that I mentioned prior to. I'm going to let this heat up and we'll be back. Now while our stove is heating up over here, or our broth is heating up, I'm going to chop some green onions. I only like the green parts. I don't like the white stuff. It has just too much potency. If you like it, chop all the way down to the white stuff. I prefer not to. And I like to leave it all rubber banded the way it comes at the store. I don't know if they always come that way, but mine came that way. Makes it easier to just chop it all down. Like I said, fingers are vertical. We don't mess up. We're not trying to cut our fingers off. And now cut up to a rubber band, take that off. Ooh. Also, be very careful with your onions. If you have pets at home, they're very allergic to them. Dogs, anyways, specifically. Can't say how many times Sasha's got a hold of one. So let me finish cutting all my onions. Like I said, because I'm making a double batch, I cut a little more than typical, but that's how much I used, that's how much I got left. Alright, so it appears that our broth is boiling, so we're going to come on over here. Looks about like, yeah, there, looks about like that. While this is going, I'm going to throw my potatoes in there. And my onion and carrots. Hold the rubber band on the side, of course. And now that I have all my seasonings in one place, I can drop it in. It's much easier to measure it out earlier. And I'm going to get my big spoon. If I start out with a ladle, I don't have to worry about dirtying up an extra spoon for nonsense. Just going to put that all together like that. Stir it up. Let it sit for 20 minutes. I'm going to put a cover on it so I don't lose the extra condensation. I want all the broth I can have. we waited out for 20 minutes, and in the meantime, I've got dishes to do. If I clean up now, I won't have to later. I'm back. I lied. I forgot. I apologize. I need to add the fat-free half and half. Okay. It was practically a cup. I ain't throwing a splash back in the fridge. I'm sorry, I'm not that person. So sue me. And all that is stuck to the cup anyways is probably, didn't actually go in. Hey guys, welcome back. I got a load of dishes running, so if it's noisy, I'm sorry, I apologize about that. I got a drink in my hand, because why not while we're waiting? Potatoes, dirty martini, have our immersion blender. It's 2 pieces, it's 2 speeds, easy peasy. It's gonna go right in the pot, plug it in, until everything's grayed nicely. But we're gonna start by putting our reduced fat cheddar cheese in there. 1 bag is 8 ounces, which is exactly how much you need. Oh, that's the bag. It's exactly how much you need. However, I need 2 because I'm making my double batch. And all that's gonna get stirred up, immersion blended. All that's gonna get blended up. I think I got about 2 minutes left on my timer. Careful, start on slow if you have it. It's hot and it will splatter. So you only have to burn yourself a couple times before you'll ever do it again. Okay, top button's low. That's it, we're all done. And this is what it looks like. Perfect timing! The first cut is the deepest.